Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Kim. Today is Wednesday, April 26th, 2023. And we begin with a bit of a flap for fans of French fries. New research suggests there may be a link between the BFF to burgers and our mental health. The study was done in China, where scientists looked at the eating habits of more than 150,000 people and found that those who ate a lot of fried foods, especially fried potatoes, had a 12% higher risk of anxiety and 7% higher risk of depression than people who didn't. According to psychiatry.com, the culprit could be acrylamide, a chemical formed during the frying process. When researchers exposed zebrafish to it, the fish stopped exploring their tanks, began to dwell in dark zones, and no longer swam near their fish friends. But, and this is a big but, zebrafish are very different from humans. The study is preliminary, and researchers admit that for those of us with feet, it's not yet known whether fried foods cause mental health issues or whether people with symptoms turn to it for comfort. iSpace did not stick its lunar landing. The Japanese company was hoping to be the first private firm in history to touch down on the moon with a crewless cargo of small rovers and experiments. But that was not to be. In the final moments of descent yesterday, the company lost contact with it and later said its mission likely crashed into the surface. Only a handful of nations have landed on the moon, and no private company has successfully made a soft touchdown. An Israeli firm tried in 2019, but its rover also slammed into the sand after a main engine failure during the landing sequence. Future Hall of Fame quarterback Aaron Rodgers is trading one shade of green for another. After months of speculation, it became official Monday. The 39-year-old is done with the Packers and will suit up this fall with the New York Jets. Aaron will get more than a new jersey. He'll also get a new number. The 12 he wore with Green Bay isn't available in New York. That was retired 3 decades ago in honor of Joe Namath. And even though the football legend known as Broadway Joe has given his blessing for Aaron to wear it, according to CBS News, it appears that he'll go with 8, the same number he wore to represent the Cal Bears when he played college ball there 19 years ago. The worst-kept secret in Washington, D.C. is a secret no longer. As expected, President Biden is running for re-election. The confirmation came in a flashy campaign-style video released early yesterday morning. He might be in for an uphill battle. According to a survey from NBC News, 70% of Americans, including 51% of Democrats, do not think Mr. Biden should seek another term, and almost half who voted no in that poll cited his age as the major reason why. He's 80 now and already the oldest serving president in U.S. history. Mr. Biden's decision to run also sets up a possible rematch of the 2020 election with former President Trump, who is 76 and bound to face the same questions as Mr. Biden about his age and fitness for office. Pop star Ed Sheeran will be doing some thinking out loud in a New York City courtroom. Sometime this week, he's expected to take the stand to defend that 2014 hit song from accusations he stole parts of it from Marvin Gaye's classic Let's Get It On. The copyright infringement case was brought by the family of Ed Townsend, who co-wrote the chart topper with Mr. Gaye more than 50 years ago. Mr. Sheeran's been down this plagiarism road before. Last year, the British songwriter won a similar suit over his song Shape of You. At the time, he said, "Coincidence is bound to happen if 60,000 songs are being released every day on Spotify. That's 22 million songs a year, and there's only 12 notes available." That's it for KidNuz. Now today's KidNuz quiz. Researchers in China say there might be a link between French fries and what? Mental health. How many private companies have landed rovers on the moon? None. Aaron Rodgers left the Green Bay Packers for what team? The New York Jets. What hit song by Ed Sheeran is facing a copyright lawsuit? Thinking Out Loud. In today's KidNuz kicker, whether you've got 2 legs or 4, it's hard to resist movie theater popcorn. The scent of all that butter apparently lured a moose into a cinema in Kenai, Alaska, and it was all caught on the phones of surprised workers. Not surprising that he or she, we really don't know, made a beeline for a bucketful. Then, after having his or her fill of popcorn, it left with its nose stuck in a McDonald's Happy Meal box. Nick Fowler, a wildlife biologist with the Alaska Department of Fish and Game, told the Anchorage Daily News that human food is probably not ideal. I don't know if a Happy Meal is good for a moose or not. However, I can confidently say that it's not in its natural diet. Before we go, it's time to shout out our KidNuz classroom, starting with Mrs. Sanchez and Ms. Bree and their Mustangs at Los Medanos in Pittsburg, California. Mr. Jim and his Tigers at the Jerome Academy in Jerome, Idaho. Mrs. Garrison and Mrs. Lowe and their Blue Jays at Greenwood Laboratory School in Springfield, Missouri. Mrs. Hoops and her Sailors at Ferguson in League City, Texas. And Ms. Anderson and her Wildcats at Bursley Elementary in Jenison, Michigan. Thanks for listening, everyone. Please rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts, and we'll see you back here for more KidNuz tomorrow morning.